Music, art, dance, sports. These subjects are often seen as extras, which is unfortunate. They are fundamental learning disciplines. People were doing them a long time before they were doing math, and maybe even before they were using language. A lot of students who have difficulty with traditional schoolwork excel at these subjects and wish they could do them to the exclusion of the others. They feel successful as musicians, artists, dancers, athletes. This creates an opportunity. When I discovered how helpful music was to my brain, it gave me a huge leg up on my studies. Suddenly, I had a way to think about history other than a long list of events. There was music to go with different time periods, and I could associate the pieces in those periods with the events. Music requires some of the same analytic thinking we do in mathematics, and it certainly helped me at least begin to clarify my thinking as I approached that subject. And of course, we sing in lots of different languages. Here's the thing. Music itself didn't solve my problems in these subjects. I had to learn that the hard way, which was very disappointing. I still had to figure out how to get good at math, good at languages, good at music. Music gave me a way in that wasn't there before. Yes, I had to go through the door. I still had to assess myself to see what I was doing well, what I was challenged by, and what I needed to do to bridge the gap. The difference was that now I had an area of expertise to draw from. Because I was good at music where I wasn't good at math or languages, I could ask myself more than just, why am I failing? Which is a depressing question under any circumstances. Now I could also look at music and say, why am I succeeding? Which is a lot more fun. If you have a student who excels in music, art, dance, sports, the temptation is for them to just live in that place where they're happy, drawing their pictures, scoring goals for their team, giving recitals to cheering crowds. It's hard to get them to ask themselves why they're good at it. That takes them out of their flow and can even mess up their process, like the story about the ant asking the centipede which legs he moved first, resulting in the centipede not being able to walk. But the opportunity to discover how you do something well is a powerful tool. If you really need to be able to succeed in math, knowing how you draw well might help a lot. It could be the only thing that will help. Let's imagine you do a lot of drawing. Cartoons, graphic novels, comics. Let's say you're really good. What makes you good? I imagine you've got several skills that many people don't have. You have planning skills. You think out a page before you draw it. Even if you do this unconsciously, just drawing and seeing where you end up, if the page always looks great, it means that on some level you were planning its layout. You understand sequencing of a task, what has to be done first, background or foreground. If you're working in pen, you'd better know or you'll have a mess and lose a whole page. You have a good visual memory. You can see things in your head and then draw them. Or maybe you can copy pictures really well, so you have a good attention to detail. You can apply all these skills to math study with just a few adjustments. Learn to use your planning skills to think out how to solve a problem before you dive into it. If you've got really good planning skills, you may find this easier than you thought once someone shows you how it's done. Then you're thinking before you're working, which is a lot less stressful than trying to move through a maze of tasks. Learn to apply your sequencing skills to memorize the steps needed to solve a math problem. These problems always have very rigid rules about what you should do first, what second, what third, and if you get good at these steps, you can solve problems fast. Use your great visual memory to visualize math concepts. Boy, are you lucky if you can do this. Imagine the path of a parabola as it arcs across the graph. Rotate shapes in your head to see if they are equivalent. The best mathematicians either do this naturally or work hard to learn it. And if you've got this skill, you're sitting on a mathematics gold mine. Athletes, artists, musicians all have strengths like this. Few people ever discuss the larger connections between the arts and academics, and that's one reason so many arts programs have been cut, or why sports programs may shelter athletes from academics rather than encourage them. Getting good at crossing these borders will make you a better learner and a much better advocate for the subject you know and love and why you should be allowed to do it as much as possible.